everyone. Happy Friday. We're going to do just a short lesson and we'll do something a little bit different. We're going to do a gospel 2516. Gospel-ish. It's pretty easy jazz chords. And what I want to do is show you what we did this morning in Chord Academy. We also had our all access stream, but I just want to kind of show you guys what we do when we're doing gospel and jazz type things, not necessarily just blues, right? So a couple of really cool chords I want to show you, and as a matter of fact, as we break down this loop, I'm going to show you about 5 different chords, and then I want you to take these chords and make them your own and do your own thing. So I would love for you to like this video if you enjoy the content, and also I'd love for you to say hello in the chat if you get a chance. All right, so the loop we're going to do, it's putting, at first, is this idea of putting a D minor, and you put a C major with a D minor, and that immediately gives you a D minor 11, which is an amazing chord by itself. But when you reverse the order, or at least mix up the order, now you have a C in second inversion, and you put a D minor that's spread out. So now you have a nice, beautiful D minor 11 chord. And we're actually going to start the melody on top. I'm always thinking about melody. And in this case, I'm thinking da, 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 da. So I'm thinking in C major, and I hit this chord and I roll it up. You see the way I did that? This is step 1. Ba. Then I'm going to go finger 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to go down to D flat and then do a D flat major 9. Isn't that a beautiful sound right there? Let's talk about why in the world would I go down a half step if I'm in the key of C. Well, one simple explanation is this. We know that we can go 2 to a 5 and then to 1. Like 2-5-1 is the most common progression in jazz, but you can also do what's called a tritone, where you do not the 4th away, but a sharp 4 away from the chord you are going to play, like 2, 5, 1. And instead of 2, 5, I'm going to do a tritone away, a sharp 4 away from G, and that gives me a D flat chord. And then I'm going to go to C, and what it does is it creates a beautiful half step movement. So 2, and instead of G7, I'm going to go to D flat, and I'll do D flat major 9 because I like the sound, and then I'll go down a half step to the root, and then we're going to end this loop by doing an A7, which is the 6th chord of the key of C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're A7, and then you're going to go do a flat 9 on that A, and then you're going to come down and do da, and I like sliding on from that F sharp. You can technically kind of hammer on from that F below, but the main thing is do a little grace note to get back to this. So let's go ahead and do the whole thing really slowly, and then I'm going to break each chord down so that you'll be able to really isolate the chords and put it all together. I'm going to write this out as well. I told Chord Academy this morning they wanted me to write it out. I said I'll be happy to do that. First chord is D minor 11, and then the melody note ba-da-da. The reason that note works over this D flat major 9, just so we know, there's a really cool thing called, we know the major scale, of course, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, but one really nice sound is this mode. You know, scales can be, well, they do have modes, so this idea of C major is also called an Ionian mode. Well, then you go up to D and do all white notes, that's C Dorian, then you do Phrygian, and then you do Lydian. Lydian is the 4th mode of the major scale, and notice that that has this sharp 4 in the scale. So if you're thinking in C, it's all white notes. When you go up to F, it's like an F major scale, but it has a sharp 4, so a raised sound. And what that does, it gives it a nice little lift there when I go to C major and I go. Some people even like to play instead of the major scale, especially jazz guys, they like to often have that major, that sharp 4 in there, so that Lydian sound. So notice when I do the Lydian sound, I'm going to go key of C, I go D minor first, da da da. So notice that is the sharp 4 of D flat, and it still sounds nice to me. And then I bet ba da da. So I'll go C major 9, and remember this nice little move that you can do. If I think I'm the key of C and I hit the C, the home key of C, I can go up to the 5th note of C, which is G, and play a triad. A G triad over C bass gives you a C major 9, a really beautiful sound right there. So let's put that together. Ba, D minor 11, D flat major 9 with the sharp 11, and then I'm going to go ba da da on the and of 4, and then I'm going to hit the C, and now I'm going to get to the 6th chord by doing, I'll do. Now I want to sit and talk about this next chord for a minute. So what's happening, this is the 6th chord in the key of C, which is A7. We're going to play what's called a dominant chord, so a bluesy kind of sound, a flat 7 of the A scale. And then this little trick that you can do is that you go up a half step from your root, whatever it is. In this case, it's B flat, so it's the A chord, so A7. But if I go up a half step, and now I play a B flat diminished chord, so that's B flat, that's D flat, that's E and G. So a 4-note chord making up what's called a diminished chord. A diminished chord is a chord built on minor thirds. So B flat up to D is 3 half steps away. 1, 2, 3. C sharp up to E is 3 half steps away. And then do it one more time and you get up to G and you have your A7. Hey Jeffrey, what's up man? Happy Friday to you. Always count on Jeffrey showing up. All right, so Jeffrey remembers this idea of, remember, you go up a half step from your dominant chords, and now you have an A7 flat 9. Okay, now what's so nice about this sound right here? A couple things. One is you have this idea of, well, there's my A chord. If I need a nice A7 with a flat 9, all the notes except for the flat 9 comes right out of the A7 chord, right? That's the flat 7 of A, that's the 3rd, that's the 5th. Now, here's another thing that it does, Jeffrey. When I do these fancy little runs and things right here, I'm not doing anything actually fancy. I'm just playing a diminished scale, a scale built on half whole, all the way up. And you can turn that up so many different ways. You can do diminished sounds. I can do the scale going up like that. There's so many different ways to turn around. I could go right, those are nice sounds. I could do this. Or I could do this. I could go straight up and I could go and just turn it around any way I want. But isn't that nice the way that it does that? It creates on dominant chords, watch this. Whenever I'm doing a dominant chord and I say, all right, A7, I can go half step, whole step, half step, whole step, and it gets me this nice sound that will help me really nicely lead into the D minor, which is the loop starting over again, watch. Or you hear what I'm doing there? I'm saying, all right, well, let's have fun with that scale. And in order to get that A7 with the flat 9, all I had to do was go up a whole step from my dominant chord, and that tells me right there, there's my flat 9, and all I'm doing is either a B flat diminished chord, same 4 notes. If I put the bottom on top, now I have C sharp, E, G, B flat. Inverted again, you have E, G, B flat, and D flat. Inverted again, you have G, B flat, C sharp, E. Let's put the loop together. Here we go. D minor 11, D flat major 9, C major 9, A7 flat 9, so even right there, instead of doing D flat, I went D minor, and I went to the 5 chord, which is G. I didn't do what I was doing where I go, okay, D minor, I'm going to go down and do D flat, do the tritone substitution. I'm going to go D, and that time I went, well, what is that right there? That's that same trick again of G7 flat 9, which creates that diminished scale, right? Let me demonstrate it one more time, just so I'm not just playing a bunch of notes. D minor 11. That's D flat major 9. C major 9, and right here, all I did is think, all right, A7 is my chord. I'm gonna go up a half step and play B flat diminished. And that's just the same 4 notes over and over. I could go down, do the same thing. I could mix up the scale. It's all diminished, half whole. I can go roll it up. I can go, I could do that trick where I did that. So many different things you can do over that. Okay, now let me play the loop one more time, and then we'll put it all together and call it a day. Let me do it again. And right here, let's talk about this right here. That's one of my favorite chords to play. I love the D minor, and I also love this. And what that is A7, and notice that those are all diminished notes in there. All of these notes that we just talked about, and all the different runs that you can do, all those are diminished runs based on this one scale, okay? And even when I played this chord right here, listen how beautiful that is. That's root of an A scale, flat 7, 3, 13, and flat 9. And now I'm going to go. Right here. Okay, now if you understand that, just put got it in the chat. And then let's move on to, let me give you an easy idea for you to practice. I did a video that I probably will upload tonight. I did it on one of my jazz channels. And this idea of, one of the first thing, the very first day of Chord Academy, which is back in September, I was showing you guys 2-5 and how you could take a D minor, walk your bass and do 2-5, right? And getting used to this idea of 4 on the floor. That was one lesson that we did, one of the first lessons we did. And what I like to do to get our rhythm going is think of this 4 on the floor, kind of like a drummer where you're going. And here's the loop for today. We're going to go, we'll go 2. So notice I'm still just thinking, and I did flat 9 there. Notice there's the flat 9. That's kind of a nice sound. So we're here on D minor. I'll slow it down some more. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 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 3 and 4 and 1, 2. So you hear what I'm doing? 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 2, 3 and 4 and 1. And then I do it again, going down and 4 and I go to the 3. So it's 2, 5, 3, 6. Let's actually, once you guys get that, let's extend it a little more. First, let me just loop this. What's up, Nick Knack? Nick Knack, I promise you can do it. And we're going to break this down. And even for my beginners, and I don't know where you are, but thanks so much for joining us. This is awesome. So the first thing is we go, all right, F major 7, all white notes. And even though I can give you guys shortcuts and say just do F, A, C, E, we're really doing a D minor 9 chord, which really goes, this is the most common progression in jazz. You go 2, 5, and 1. And to get this, it's actually pretty simple. Once you get the FACE, then you lower your middle finger, and that automatically changes to a nice, beautiful G13 chord, okay? So the first thing we do is this. We get this 4 on the floor, and I really should be turning on my metronome for this, but we're just gonna go with it. But here's the first thing, is we get used to doing a 4 on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice that I started on the downbeat. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe I need to do that 4, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Now, I need to say this as we get into this really fun chord progression, is that one of my favorite things to do is I'm doing this 4 on the floor in the right hand, is you'll see me do a lot of where I do the index finger gets the and of the beats. So let me give you a basic example of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. See how I'm doing that? And that's a really common theme and very important thing. When I teach these bass lines where I say go 2, 5. You see how I do the 2 there? So it's the G with the D, and I go 2, and I can do this 2 and 3. What's up, Mr. Blues? Mr. Pit Blues? All right, you see what I'm doing there? I'm doing 5, 2, 1, a really important thing. So by knowing even stuff like that, we can start to do where you practice transposition. But notice how I'm using that 5, 2, 1 right here. 2, 3. Okay, so just know that as I'm doing these things, sometimes I go 2 with my index finger, which is the 5 of whatever note I'm in, and I do that. All right, let's go back to the basics. Here we go. So D minor 9, and we're going 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it a little different. Oh, that made it a little different. Gave it a little lift, didn't it? 1 and 2, 3. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now let's do this loop. I'm going to teach you this loop, and then you can slow it down, do whatever you want, and I'll probably even extend it just a little bit more so you can have even a more interesting loop. But here we go. 3 and 4 and 1. And instead of the basic, I said you could lower to make a D minor 9 a G13, you could lower your middle finger down, but I think what I'm going to do is lower the middle 2 notes, which gives a fun G7 with that flat 9 sound. So it's like this. Let me just loop that for a second. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So really important is notice I'm doing a specific rhythm. I go 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. And then I'm going instead of 2, 5, 1, then I'm going 3 to 6 chord, which is a fun little substitution. All right, here we go. 2, 3. 2, 3. I like what I did. So sometimes I go 1, just the downbeat 1 time, but sometimes I like that 1 and 2, 3, 4. Do you guys like that? Do you like just the 1, or do you like occasionally the 1 and 2, 3, 2, 2 and 3 and 4, 2, 3. You hear how sometimes I'm doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's just fun to kind of go back and forth. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Actually, I don't like that. I would have to go 3, 2, 3 and 4. Let me do this. It is. All right, so then I approach it a half step below. Ba, ba, I could go ba, ba, but that's too busy. So here we go. Let's extend it a little more. So we had this. I like that. Da da da, F major, and then let's go. Ba. Let's try that again. So. Ba ba. Or maybe go down. I think I like it like that. So here's the final thing. All right. Do y'all like the extra added thing there? We'll go. Yeah, so you like the extras? Yeah, maybe I'll write out that whole thing. I'm just, as I keep going through it, I'm tweaking it just a little bit. Like, I like the idea. I was doing single note, but I think I like the one and on the very first one. Maybe that ba-ba, ba-ba, ba. Yeah, you're right. Should slow it down. Sound even. Yep, you're right. Definitely. Let's slow it down. I like that idea. So I could go, maybe even to start it over, we go. That kind of sounded nice too, right? Instead of just, I did a single like this. I love doing this little idea of there's my thumb on C, and then I go up kind of with my pinky and just kind of like ride that like. And arpeggios in the right hand, more bluesy. You got that blues. Yeah, yep. Yep, there's so many different things. And what I like to do in this kind of scenario, instead of doing like, even with that, we could do that kind of thing, or even simple blues lick. Yeah. What I did there, if anybody picked up on it, Jeffrey, when I was doing that other loop where I did right here. So on that A7, that's just such a nice thing to get back into that. Ah, that was nice. That's kind of neat to do those little 1 2 and 3 and then 4. I'm not trying to busy it up. I'm just thinking of all the possibilities. Yeah, you can sneak that in just as a good practice idea. 1 and then 2 and then. Time to go? Okay. right, dinner calls, everyone. Hey, that was a lot of fun. What I'm gonna do is process this video. When I say process, I'll probably go back and just listen to some of the ideas and see what we liked and what we didn't. And maybe I'll do a loop on this, and you guys let me know what you think. Like, please do me a favor. Listen to this. Let me know what you like. Kind of what Pit Blues has been talking about. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so... So that one I did at one, and that, or you go. Yeah, you can start either hand. Anyway, Pit Blues, leave some comments and let me know what you like, what you didn't, and I'll go ahead and do just kind of maybe another lesson on this and put together a full loop on this. Thanks so much for hanging out, and good to see you, Jeffrey, as well. Thank you both for tuning in and everybody else watching this and who might catch it on the replay. Have a good one, guys, and I'll